Well, today we are taking a deep dive into 15 B's, 10 habits to maintain a positive mindset.
Ooh, that sounds like a good one.
Yeah, and you know what really struck me when I was reading through this? It's that positive psychology research suggests that a positive outlook can actually improve your health work and even relationships.
Wow, that's pretty
I
amazing.
know, right?
Yeah,
Like, it's not just about feeling good, it's about actually living better.
it is. And it reminds me of something called the broaden and build theory.
Oh, yeah. What's that all about?
Well, it was developed by Barbara Fredrickson, and basically it suggests that when we experience positive emotions, it helps us broaden our perspective.
Okay, I'm listening.
So we become more open to new possibilities, new experiences,
Right.
and that in turn allows us to build new skills and resources, which just further enhances our well-being. It's like this positive upward spiral.
I like that, an upward spiral.
Mhm.
So I guess these 10 habits that we're going to unpack today are kind of like tools to help us tap into that spiral.
Right. Exactly. They're like little hacks to shift your perspective.
I love it. All right, so habit number 1, daily intentions.
This one's all about taking just like a few minutes each morning to set a conscious direction for your day.
Okay, so kind of like choosing how you want to approach the day.
Yeah, think of it like choosing a lens through which you're going to view all of your experiences.
Hmm, that's interesting. You know, the guide gave some really cool examples of daily intentions. One that I really liked was feel like a rock star.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, who wouldn't want to start their day with that kind of energy, right?
Totally. It's about tapping into a feeling, a desired outcome. And there are others too, like do less, which encourages us to prioritize and simplify,
Ooh, I like that one.
or try something new to push us outside of our comfort zones.
Yeah.
And let go is a powerful one too. It reminds us that sometimes surrendering control is the most positive thing we can do.
Oh, absolutely.
Huh.
Especially when things feel overwhelming. So it's not just about thinking positive thoughts. It's about setting an intention that then guides your actions throughout the day.
Exactly. Intentions without action are just wishful thinking.
True.
And it's also about accepting that, hey, things aren't always going to go according to plan. The intention is more like a guiding star, not a rigid rule.
That makes a lot of sense. All right, let's move on to habit number 2. One word.
Have you heard of this?
Yeah, I've heard of this, like choosing one word to guide your entire year.
Yes. It's become like a whole movement.
Really?
Yeah. There are even online communities dedicated to it, like One Word 365 and My Own Word.
That's so cool. What kind of stuff happens in those communities?
Well, people will share their chosen word and like their experiences throughout the year using that word as their guide.
Wow.
It's actually incredibly inspiring to see the diversity of words that people choose and how they kind of weave it into their daily lives and their decision-making and their goals. It's more than just a word. It becomes like a guiding principle.
Yeah, I can see how that would be really powerful. Like having that one word constantly in mind can help with focus and motivation.
For sure. And there's so many creative ways to keep your one word front and center. You can write it in your journal. You can make a vision board with images that represent your word. Even get a coffee mug with it printed on there.
I love that.
The more you see it, the more it becomes ingrained in your subconscious.
Yeah, visual reminders are so powerful. Okay, habit number 3. This one sounds fun. Everyday beauty scavenger hunt.
Oh, this is a good one. This is a wonderful practice for shifting your perspective and training your brain to actually seek out the positive.
Okay, so what is it?
Well, the challenge is to find 5 beautiful things throughout your day, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant they might be.
So it could be anything, like the way the sunlight hits a tree, or a stranger smiling, or even just a really delicious cup of coffee.
Exactly. It's about actively looking for beauty in those everyday moments,
Yeah.
cultivating a sense of appreciation for the simple things that we often take for granted.
You know, I'm already feeling more mindful just thinking about this. Okay, let's move on to habit number 4, self-talk.
Ah, yes, the inner voice.
Yeah, we all have it, but sometimes it can be a bit of a bully, you know?
Oh, tell me about it. That's where positive affirmations come in.
Oh yeah, I've heard of those.
They're like little pep talks for your soul to counteract that negative self-talk and boost your self-belief.
So you're basically choosing positive statements and repeating them to yourself, even if you don't totally believe them at first?
Precisely. The more you repeat those positive statements, the more they start to sink in and they actually reshape your thinking patterns. You're essentially rewiring your brain for positivity.
Whoa, that's powerful. The guide gives some great examples too, like, I feel healthy and strong today, or I have all that I need to make this a great day.
Those are good ones.
I like them. And you know, it's funny because I was reading that research has shown a strong link between negative self-talk and stress and even depression.
It's true.
So by replacing those negative thoughts with positive affirmations, we can actually improve our mental and emotional well-being.
Absolutely. And you know what I like about the guide is that it encourages us to personalize the affirmations, like choose phrases that really resonate with us deeply.
Yeah, find the words that speak to your heart.
Exactly. It's about finding the words that inspire you to be your best self. Okay, are you ready for the next habit? This one might surprise you.
Okay, bring it on. What is it?
Stress reframed.
Wait, hold on. Stress reframed. What do you mean?
Well, this one challenges us to actually view stress not as an enemy, but as a potentially positive signal.
Wait, so you're saying stress can be positive? How does that even work?
Well, think of it this way. Stress often arises when we really care deeply about something.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
It could be a project at work, or a relationship, or even a personal goal. The stress is a sign that we're invested, that it matters to us.
Hmm, that's an interesting way to look at it.
And you know what? There's actually science to back this up. Studies have shown that moderate amounts of stress can actually boost brain power and enhance our immune system.
Whoa, okay, now that is a game changer. So instead of dreading stress, maybe we should try to reframe it as a sign that we're engaged and growing.
Exactly. Think of it as a challenge to overcome, an
Yeah.
opportunity to tap into your resilience and resourcefulness.
I'm definitely starting to see stress in a whole new light. What's next?
Habit number 6, power pose. This one comes from the groundbreaking research of social psychologist Amy Cuddy.
Okay, I've heard of her work. I'm intrigued. Tell me more about this power pose.
Well, Cuddy's research showed that holding certain poses, even for just 2 minutes, can significantly impact our hormone levels and our perception of power and confidence. One of the most famous power poses is what you might call the Wonder Woman stance. Feet apart, hands on your hips, chest lifted.
I can already feel my confidence soaring just picturing it.
It's incredible, right? By simply changing our body language, we can send signals to our brain that actually influence our emotions and even our behavior.
So we're like faking it till we make it.
In a way, yes. But it's more than just faking it. It's about consciously using our body language to shift our internal state and create a sense of empowerment.
I love that. The guide suggests checking out Amy Cuddy's TED Talk to learn more about different power poses. I'll definitely be adding that to my watch list.
It's a must-watch. Her research really highlights the connection between our minds and our bodies. Speaking of powerful connections, let's move on to habit number 7, which focuses on finding meaning in our work.
Ah, yes, this is such a relevant topic, especially in today's world where work can often feel disconnected from our true passions.
It's true. This habit encourages us to really reflect on our relationship with work and identify how we can create more meaning and purpose in our daily lives.
So how do we even begin to find that meaning?
Well, the guide outlines 3 different orientations towards work: job, career, and calling.
Okay, break that down for me.
So a job orientation is primarily focused on the paycheck and the extrinsic rewards that work provides.
Right.
Then you have a career orientation, which is more about advancement and achievement, using your skills to climb the ladder, so to speak.
Okay.
And then finally, you have a calling orientation, which is all about finding deep purpose and fulfillment in the work itself, seeing it as an expression of your values and passions.
Hmm. I think I fall somewhere between career and calling. I definitely want to feel challenged and grow in my work, but it's also important for me to feel like I'm making a positive contribution.
It sounds like you found a good balance.
Yeah, I think so.
Mhm.
The guide also mentions the research of Dr. Amy Wrzesniewski on work orientations. We have to look into that.
Oh, she's done some fascinating work in this area. Her research explores how people can find more meaning and satisfaction in their work regardless of their profession.
I love that. Okay, on to habit number 8. What went well? This one sounds kind of familiar.
It's a classic gratitude practice, but with a little twist.
Well, yeah, I'm listening.
It's about taking a few minutes each day to reflect on what went well, to focus on the positive experiences you had, no matter how small they might seem.
So it's like a what went well today journal.
Exactly. And what's beautiful about this is that it helps us shift our attention away from the negative and train our brains to seek out the good. It's about actively noticing and savoring those positive moments, big or small.
It's like we're choosing to focus on the good stuff
Mhm.
instead of dwelling on all the things that go wrong.
I love that. It's about choosing where we direct our attention And by doing so, we actually influence our perception of reality.
Right. It's not about denying the challenges or the negativity. It's about consciously choosing to focus on the positive.
Exactly. It's about cultivating a more balanced and optimistic perspective, which in turn helps us approach challenges with greater resilience and resourcefulness.
This is great stuff.
All right.
What's next?
Habit number 9, best day mindset.
Okay. Interesting. Tell me more.
Well, this one acknowledges that even in the things that we're most passionate about, there are going to be ups and downs.
Oh, for sure.
The key is to tap back into the first day mindset.
What's it?
You know that initial excitement you felt when you first started a new job or a new hobby or even a new relationship?
Yeah, like that sense of possibility.
Exactly. That sense of possibility and enthusiasm, this habit encourages us to reconnect with that feeling.
Oh, I see. It's like rekindling the spark, remembering the why behind our actions when things get tough.
Exactly. And the guide suggests keeping visual reminders of those early days, handy photos, letters, anything that can transport you back to that initial feeling of excitement and motivation.
I like that. Sometimes we just need that little reminder to reignite our passion. Okay, on to the final habit, meditation. Is that a typo?
It's not a typo, although it sounds like one.
It does. What is it?
It's a combination of metta, which is a Pali word for loving kindness, and meditation.
Oh, so it's a type of meditation.
Exactly. Meditation is the practice of cultivating loving kindness and compassion, first toward yourself and then extending it outwards to others.
I like that. So how does that work in practice?
You start by silently repeating phrases to yourself like, may I be happy, may I be well, may I be peaceful and at ease. You're essentially sending well wishes to yourself.
Okay, and then you extend those wishes to others.
Yes. The traditional practice involves directing those well wishes to someone you love, then to someone you feel neutral about, then to someone you find challenging, and finally to all beings everywhere.
Whoa, sending loving kindness to someone you find challenging. That sounds really difficult.
It can be, but that's where the real power of meditation lies. It's about cultivating compassion even for those who test our patience. And through this practice, we develop greater empathy and understanding, not just for others, but also for ourselves.
That's really powerful. This meditation is definitely something I want to explore further. The guide mentioned Sharon Salzberg as a good resource for learning more about it.
Oh, she's a wonderful teacher and a pioneer in bringing loving kindness meditation to the West. I highly recommend checking out her work.
I will. Okay, well, we've covered all 10 habits from 15B's guide, and I got to say, I'm feeling pretty inspired.
Me too. It's amazing how these simple yet powerful habits can help us cultivate a more positive and fulfilling life.
It is. But before we wrap up part 1, I want to pick your brain a little further about something.
Oh, yeah, shoot. What are you thinking about?
Well, as we've been talking about these habits, I've been noticing this recurring theme of mindfulness.
Uh-huh.
Like, so many of these habits encourage us to become more present and aware of our thoughts, our feelings, our surroundings.
You're right. Mindfulness is definitely like a common thread running through these practices. It's about cultivating a non-judgmental awareness of the present moment, which then allows us to respond to situations with greater clarity and intention.
Yeah, exactly. Like the everyday beauty scavenger hunt isn't just about like finding pretty things.
Right.
It's about training ourselves to notice and appreciate those little joys that are often hidden in plain sight.
Exactly. It's about shifting our focus away from the negative and actively seeking out the positive. And that's true for the what went well habit, too. By reflecting on the good things that happen, we're basically rewiring our brains to focus on the positive even when things are challenging.
Totally. It's like we're shining a light on the good stuff instead of dwelling in the darkness.
I love that analogy. It's about choosing where we direct our attention, and by doing so, we influence our perception of reality.
Makes sense. So it's not about like denying the existence of challenges or negativity.
All right.
It's about consciously choosing to focus on the positive.
Exactly. It's about cultivating a more balanced and optimistic perspective, which then helps us approach challenges with more resilience and resourcefulness.
And that brings us back to the habit of reframing stress, right? Instead of viewing stress as this thing to be avoided at all costs, we can learn to see it as a sign that we're stretching ourselves, growing, stepping outside of our comfort zones.
Exactly. And that discomfort, as uncomfortable as it may feel in the moment, can be a catalyst for positive change.
Yeah.
It's often in those moments of challenge that we discover our true strength and resilience.
That's a good point. Speaking of strength, I'm really fascinated by the power pose habit.
Oh, yeah.
And how our body language can actually influence our internal state. It's amazing how something as simple as our posture can have such a profound impact on how we feel.
It really is remarkable. Our body language not only communicates our feelings to others,
Right.
but it also sends signals back to our own brains,
Wow.
influencing our emotions and even our hormone levels.
So are we basically like faking it till we make it?
You could say that, but it's more than just faking it. It's about consciously using our body language to create a sense of empowerment,
Right.
which then can lead to those actual feelings of confidence and strength. It's like we're giving ourselves a pep talk through our posture.
Haha, I love that. And speaking of embodying our values,
Yes.
the habit of finding meaning in our work is all about aligning our actions with what matters most to us.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that work can be more than just a means to an end.
Yeah. Yeah.
It can be a source of purpose, fulfillment, even joy.
And the guide highlights that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to this either.
Right.
It's about understanding your own unique work orientation, whether that's job, career, or calling,
Uh-huh.
and finding ways to make your work more meaningful and engaging for you.
Exactly. For some people, meaning might come from feeling like they're making a difference in the world.
Right.
For others, it might be about mastering a skill or achieving a certain level of success.
Right.
The key is to really identify what truly motivates you and then find ways to align your work with those values.
That's a great point.
Hmm.
And if you're not feeling that sense of meaning in your current work, maybe it's time to explore other options or, find ways to reframe your perspective.
Absolutely. It's never too late to make changes and create a work life that feels more aligned with your passions and your purpose.
I think that's really empowering to remember,
Mm.
that we have the power to choose our thoughts,
Right.
our actions,
Right.
and ultimately our experiences.
It is. And that's where the concept of intention comes in. By setting those clear intentions for how we want to feel and be, we're taking that proactive approach to shaping our reality.
Totally. It's like we're becoming the architects of our own lives,
I love that.
designing the blueprints for happiness and fulfillment.
Exactly. And the beauty of it is that we're constantly evolving and learning.
Right.
We can always adjust our blueprints as we grow and discover new possibilities.
Okay, now I want to circle back to the habit of meditation for a minute.
Yeah.
The idea of sending well wishes to ourselves and others, even those who challenge us, sounds like a really powerful practice for cultivating compassion and understanding.
It is. And it's not just about feeling good either.
Oh, yeah.
Meditation has been shown to have tangible benefits like reducing stress, improving emotional regulation, even boosting our immune system.
Wow, I'm definitely going to have to try this.
It's worth exploring.
It sounds like a practice that can really transform our relationships with ourselves and others.
It can. And the best part is it's accessible to anyone, regardless of their background or experience with meditation.
Okay.
There are tons of resources available online and in books, and there are even guided meditations that can help you get started.
Awesome. Okay, before we move on to the final part of our deep dive,
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the one-word habit.
Oh, yeah.
Choosing a single word to guide our year just seems like such a simple yet powerful way to set an intention
It is.
and focus our energy on what matters most.
It's like having a personal mantra,
Yeah.
that can inspire and motivate you throughout the year. And by reflecting on your chosen word regularly,
Yeah.
you can make sure that your actions are aligned with your values and aspirations.
This actually reminds me of the importance of having a clear vision for our lives. Like, where do we want to be a year from now, 5 years from now? What steps can we take today to move closer to that vision?
Those are great questions to ask yourself.
Yeah.
By having a clear vision, we create a roadmap for our journey. And it makes it easier to stay motivated even when we face challenges along the way.
And speaking of challenges, the habit of reframing setbacks as opportunities for growth is so key
Oh, it's huge.
to maintaining a positive mindset.
Absolutely. It's about shifting our perspective from one of defeat to one of learning and growth.
Yeah.
Instead of asking, why me, we can ask, what can I learn from this? Or how can I use this experience to become stronger and more resilient?
It's about turning those stumbling blocks into stepping stones.
Exactly. And by embracing challenges as opportunities for growth,
Yeah.
we become more adaptable and resourceful in the face of adversity.
And that resilience is essential for maintaining a positive mindset in the long run, right?
It is.
Life is full of ups and downs.
So for sure.
And it's our ability to bounce back from those setbacks that really determines our overall happiness and well-being.
Well said. These 10 habits really give us a framework for cultivating that resilience
Yeah.
and maintaining a positive outlook no matter what life throws our way.
Like tools in our toolkit to navigate life's ups and downs.
Exactly.
I love that analogy. So as we head into the final part of our deep dive, What are your final thoughts on the power of these habits?
For me, the most powerful takeaway is that positivity is a choice. It's
Mm,
not something that just happens to us.
yeah,
It's something we cultivate through our daily habits and
I
choices.
like that.
And the more we practice these habits, the more natural and effortless it becomes to see the world through a lens of optimism and possibility. It becomes our default setting.
Beautifully said. I think you've given us a lot to think about. It really is.
Yeah.
As we've been exploring these 10 habits, um, I can't help but notice how they all seem to work together
Yeah.
to create this upward spiral of positivity. It's like
hmm
each habit reinforces the others and builds momentum towards a more fulfilling and joyful life.
Absolutely. It's like a positive feedback loop, like when we practice gratitude.
Right, like with the what went well habit.
Exactly. It naturally makes us more inclined towards positive self-talk. And then when we're speaking to ourselves with kindness and encouragement, it boosts our confidence, which makes it easier to take on challenges,
Hmm?
like trying a power pose or reframing those stressful moments in a more constructive way.
It's like a chain reaction of positivity.
It is,
And as we become more confident and resilient, we're more likely to set those bold intentions and pursue work that truly lights us up.
for sure.
It's incredible how these seemingly small habits can create such a powerful shift in our overall well-being.
I agree. And let's not forget the ripple effect.
Oh, yeah.
As we cultivate a more positive mindset, it not only benefits us, but also those around us.
That's true.
Our positivity becomes contagious,
Yeah.
inspiring others to embrace a more optimistic outlook as well.
I love that. It's like we're creating a ripple effect of positivity, spreading outward from our own hearts and minds to touch the lives of others.
Precisely. And it's a powerful reminder that even small changes in our own lives can make a big difference in the world.
Yeah. It all starts with us. So as we wrap up our deep dive into these 10 habits,
Mm.
what's your biggest takeaway? What nugget of wisdom will you carry with you?
Hmm. For me, it's the reminder that positivity is a choice.
Yeah.
It's not something that just happens to us. It's something that we actively cultivate
Hmm.
through our daily habits and choices.
Right.
And the more we practice these habits, the more natural and effortless it becomes to see the world through a lens of optimism and possibility.
It becomes our default setting.
Exactly.
That's beautifully said. And I think that's the perfect note to end on. So remember, everyone, positivity is a journey, not a destination. Be patient with yourself. Embrace the process and celebrate every step you take towards a more positive and fulfilling life.
hmm
And who knows, maybe you'll even inspire others to join you on the journey. Thanks for listening, everyone.